the end.
So
Deep Bajaj is the man who has brought a number of innovative and India-first products to the space of feminine hygiene. His company Sirona is now getting close to selling 1 million menstrual cups and have already sold more than 3 million peebuddies, the female urination device. I regard Deep rather as a Vaishnav Jan, picking my words from the famous hymn, Vaishnav Jan to tene kahiye, je peed parai jane re. The feat Sirona has accomplished so far, the way it is going, the distance which it has to go, and the gap which it is addressing. All of this make Deep a living example and make Sirona very, very special. The great Buddha Deep, the great Buddha said, Apo Deepo Bhava, be your own light. And here we are talking to someone who is doing his best, moving inches every day, every moment, to remove the darkness from many a life. Thank you, Deep, for joining me on Small Big Wins.
you are just too kind, sir, with your introduction. It's a pleasure to always speak to you. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Deep. Deep, menstrual cups getting close to 1 million now. So I was just doing some rough calculation, and I believe one menstrual cup would at least be equivalent to 500 pads over a period of 9 or 10 years.
Well, sir, I'd say it'll be about 5 to 7,500 pads over that period.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be far more than that.
5,000.
Yeah. So what it said is that like on a typical, if I were to compare it to a tampon, like in the US, a lady would use anywhere between 10 to 15,000 tampons in her active menstrual cycle. Mm-hmm. So, and usually it's recommended that you change pads every 4 to 6 hours. So if you go by that logic and you're using it about for 5 days over 12 months into 35 years of active menstrual cycle, that's the number that it hits.
And so 1 million menstrual cups would be equivalent to how many pads?
Oh, well, so into 5,000 then?
Into 5,000 there. So that becomes like 5 billion?
Let's just say that it's a I hope it makes some difference at the ground level rather than getting into numbers. But yeah, it is.
The reason why I asked that, in one sense, it is kind of comparable to renewable energy for a reasonably long period of time. And what impact does this have on sustainability?
So, sir, it is a very, when you really come to think of it, it's the greenest menstrual hygiene product. Now, while we have nothing against pads, they've done their job at the time when they came in. We were still on even this 15 or 20%, 12 to 20% is what they say Indian women use menstrual product. I mean, they've done their job in bringing this number till here. However, now the needs of women is changing. Our lifestyle has changed. Our environmental status has changed. Yeah, so it's not only just the sustainability angle, that cups have to offer. If you look at the changes in lifestyle, when it comes to today's woman, whether in urban India or rural India, the lifestyle has changed completely. She's out and about far more than she was earlier. When you look at urban Indian kids, they're swimming, running, jogging, doing all those things. And pads have a way of limiting them to a certain extent. Like you can't definitely run, swing, jog very conveniently with a pad on. So from that standpoint, a cup can be worn. You can wear it the whole day. It collects the blood. You can just clean it once in a day if it comes to that, or whenever you have access to a loose. But it doesn't restrict you. So from that standpoint, the product is far better than a pad. If you look at the financial impact, one cup can last you for up to 5 years if you use it well, up to even a decade. So for the below poverty line or for even tier 2, tier 3 towns, it's not a financial strain. And for urban India, the philosophy is why waste? When you have something which you can just buy once and don't need to buy it every month. Then comes the environmental angle where we say that, one pad will take about 500 to 700 years to decompose, like each pad that you throw into the number of women who are using it today. So why, it also saves the environment. And if you talk about rural India, if you talk about women in tier 2, tier 3 towns, the disposal system of sanitary products doesn't exist right now. So whatever we are throwing is entering the landfills. So on all the three accounts, the product scored so well that we just thought it needs to be presented in the right light. We thought that it's time that we push it in the right light. We're not the innovators of the product, to be honest, but we certainly can say that when it comes to selling this product and making it a part of Indian women's lives, Sirona can be credited as the category leader or the champion of the product. And yeah, thanks to you, you already mentioned about 1 million women who've been very kind to try this product against a lot of taboo that otherwise is associated with usage of any alternate menstrual hygiene product, especially the ones which have to be inserted.
Right. And when you thought about cups, and you said you were not the real innovators behind the product itself, but then was R&D involved to make it more convenient, to make it better?
So I would say that I think the contribution that the team did, we had done, we done far more products which were India first, So it was in toilet hygiene, Peebuddy was India's first stand-in pee funnel. Right. So there we had anyways reinvented the wheel to figure out how will we get Indian women to move to saying that don't deal with the toilet seat. Then again with the period pain relief patches, we did a similar journey to say they're using hot water bottles, she's using painkillers. How can we make it far more convenient? So when it came to cup, because the product has existed, for decades, the only question that we had to answer was, where are these women who are suffering from these problems? And how can we tell them that there's a solution that will just simplify it, just trust us once? So we divided into 2 buckets, honestly. More than the product, it's a FDA approved medical grade silicone that we use. The product softness wise, yes, we did some trials, but there are people who like it a little hard, there are people who like it a little soft. So there it was anybody's guess, to be honest. What we had to crack was that in terms of quality, whatever we stand for, that has to be consistent. So that's the reason why today, on an average, we convert about 30,000 women every month, to these products. And because there are more women recommending it, we don't advertise, we don't do anything. So the deal there was to identify which sector is suffering the most. So first we spoke to all the tampon users who are anyways used to inserting a product, saying, well, it's a better alternative, sees what other women have to say. And the ones who are not using it was more about just seeding the conversation, normalizing the conversation that, globally women have choices available. This is a choice. Try it if you want. There's nothing, we never said that this is the only product. Like today also, at Sirona, we say that from puberty to menopause, there are many issues we've identified and we'll solve all of them. When it comes to menstrual flow, our job is to give you the variety and give you the right information. So we also have pads, but we have biodegradable pads. We have tampons. We have, this cotton-based tampons. We have panty liners and we have cups. So we have entire thing. But if you talk about what is it that we would love you to try, we would love you to be known for, would be the cups, because we believe it ticks all the boxes. While it doesn't make a lot of commercial sense, a cynic would say, you've just sold it once. The customer will not come back for 5 years. And I'm like, she will come back to me for other needs. So in this particular product, the more R&D that went was in understanding the right price point at which she would not mind trying the product. And second was in trying to figure out where these women are. And you'd be surprised. Even in rural India, we do a lot of paid forward campaigns right now also. And women are far more open. It's just that it never had the option available. They're using cloth because nobody taught them better. And the sanitary pad, the challenge was, who will give it every month? So there have been villages that I've gone and spoken at. There's Dr. Diksha, who runs our Sirona Hygiene Foundation, and she's on ground almost every week. And the kind of surveys she does, the kind of videos that she brings in are heart-wrenching. Yeah. The only thing is we've not spoken about these. So in this particular case, it was more about let's identify where the audience is and talk to them about the solution that this product can bring and just bring it out, for them.
And at the end of a life cycle for a menstrual cup, how is it treated? If it's something?
Well, so it is basically silicone, right? So it will degrade over a period of time on its own also. And then obviously, there is end of life plants are there in the country as well where you can send it. But it's not that big hassle as of today because that collection system doesn't exist. So we are saying, let us just first solve the problem at the fundamental level. She's the customer at the base.
Right.
Let's solve it for her and then we come on to the the other part of the puzzle.
You just spoke about these heart-wrenching videos which Dr. Diksha brings in and shares with you and the other team members. So you have seen all the stigma, the agony which exists in the country around menstruation, and solving for it has been a big part of your journey. But because of this, what has grown inside you? What has reformed inside you?
I would say I think I'd become more empathetic if I can use that word. I don't know, that empathy is there to say, when you get into solving one problem, and I mean, for me, it started from toilets, like I said, right? We started solving for toilets.
True.
From solving toilet hygiene related issues for women to menstrual pain to cups. Today, I see that there are so many issues that women face that are putting them at a disadvantage every day. So it just makes you feel, in a way, angry also at times. This is so commonsensical, right? This needs to be there. Let's just bring it. Let's just solve it so that they can get around their day and their tasks far better. So it's a mixed bag. One, when I see some incredible women who run this organization, when they go on ground and they talk to people and they're able to make a difference, that's a feeling that's a lot more. You feel you sleep better, that you're making a difference. And when it comes to as the entrepreneur deep, I believe, why are we not getting more and more avenues to just take it to as many women as possible? Because every day when I'm not able to tell a woman about this being like an option, she perhaps is suffering with what she's not happy with.
Right.
So it's a mixed bag of emotions, I think. But yeah, I've become far more compassionate about these issues. Like earlier, I mean, in our house also, I've went to, I would like to believe, a reasonable school, good college. There was never a conversation around it. It's never been discussed. It's been so much of a hushed topic. And I got married. Then also there were no discussions. I mean, I just knew that she was on a period, and that was about it, right? Now I have two girls. By the time they grow up, I hope I would have made a little bit of a difference in this category with giving them far more options and far more openly and easily.
Talking about difference, now I never thought when I started doing this podcast series that I would ever be talking about menstruation on the podcast, and this is my third. The first one was with this gentleman from Pad Care Labs, Ajinkya.
Beautiful.
Spoke to Foman, who's the pad woman, and now I'm speaking to you today. and I think that it is very important that this subject is spoken by more and more by men.
True.
Too. Yeah. So what have been some of the most remarkable men in your life who have come out in support of this and spoken about this as vehemently as you speak?
Well, I think I would say that every husband who's bought the product has been a supporter of the cause. Every media journalist who's written about us and who's a male has played his role in pushing the category forward. And team members here, I think we have equal representation of men running this organization. The warehouse has most men, who are packing these products and are talking about these with women at their homes.
Right.
We have a policy, where we give menstrual product free to all the staff, including boys who can take it for their wives, So, and this is for warehouse as well. So there was a survey we did. We said, go home and ask your mothers and your wives, what are they using? And you can take it, from us. I think though they have also played a part because in their houses, so definitely this is not a topic which is discussed by boys, going on to their mother and asking, what are you using?
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying to break with whether it's the foundation or it is with these initiatives. And all these three, I think, have played a very important role in pushing the mission forward.
Yeah. I was showing my wife, Namrata, about your work and the website. And we immediately decided that let's get 50 or 100 of these menstrual cups, keep them at home and use them for women in the society, the complex, women come to work and, just hand them over.
You are just so kind. No, you can just let us know about it. If you can just bring them together, cups will manage. What we need, I mean, the evangelism that we need is, if you can bring these women together from the foundation, we can take care of giving the cups.
Yeah.
And so help us with that. And thank you for thinking about it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. More ideas on that, but later than this.
Awesome.
On your opening message on your website, you say, if you are at it, you will crack it.
Yeah, okay. You read
But
it.
there must have been some notable incidents where you were cracking up.
Yeah, happens every day.
What did the universe conspire to not let you crack up? What have been some of the most difficult moments?
I would say, sir, that I've been very blessed and very lucky, honestly. Blessed and lucky because, I, in the last 5 years at least, have made it I don't know how, but I just don't look at negatives. It doesn't stay with me. If something bad happens, I would, I'd just snap out of it. I mean, I don't cry over it for a long time. And it's not something that I would say that I've built. I think this is what I was born with. That's why I said I'm just blessed to be like that. And what I'm now trying to do it now, I'm trying to say that because there are cracks also that come up every now and then. I mean, we've had everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. The co-founders have left. There have been investors who've issued assurance that they'll invest and they didn't invest at the last minute. There've been key team members who we've lost to many things. And there've been competition who's come in with the same range of products. There've been every day something or the other keeps happening. But earlier it was more, I think, about the age where I was like, yeah, fair enough. We will just get through it. Now I'm saying that I'm practicing conscious, trying to be, looking at more positives even in consciously. So what I do is as a practice, and I tell all my team members to do it as well. So there are about 100 of us, 60 in the office. And I think about 15, 20 send me direct emails, right, every day on what's happening, what's not happening. And the only thing I request them is what you're doing, what you'll do. You guys are champions, you will do it. Just include one good thing of the day every day for me to read. So every day something good happens. So I have now that on the phone for last 4 years, I can show you that I capture one good thing that happens in my life every day. And there are 3, 4 that are happening, and I write 3, 4. One of them, when I met you last time, I wrote that I know how to scale now foundation, perhaps, with you. So I look at those notes here. So whenever there is something that goes wrong, I just go back to these notes and I read it. And there is so much of positivity that you get from this one folder of your phone. Like, to me, that's the most powerful place for me. So what do I do when I crack up? I just go and read the good thing of the day, whether it's from my team or what I have written myself over the last so many years. Usually at work, when things have not gone right, I think I also believe in switching off a little. It's I don't need to prove my integrity or loyalty to anybody. I'm committed to this. I show up. I'm the first one to come in. I'm the last one to leave. Not that it means anything, but I'm saying that I love my work so much that I don't need to prove it to anybody how many hours I'm working. I believe that, if you're having a rough day, it's better to leave that. It's very important for you to ensure that if that particular day, some energies are not aligning with yourself, just let it go, just duck. So some of those things, in combination, keep coming to my rescue. One is I say that if that particular day is not going right, read it. If you've read things, if it's still not coming out of it, just go back home, play with your kids, do something. Just break the circuit. It's about breaking that circuit, because that negativity circuit, if you keep thinking about how worse can it get, then you just keep going to the new low. So it's important just breaking that circuit, coming out and solving it again. And I keep doing it every now and then. And I don't know if I've answered it correctly, but
absolutely. I think the latter part which you spoke about of breaking the circuit, someone very revered told me once in such a situation, don't exhaust your destiny.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And this one good thing a day,
yeah.
How did this come about?
I don't know. I think 4 or 5 years ago, I just one random, must be one of these bad days only, where I thought, yeah, dude, how do you train yourself to not look at what is missing, but what is there, right? And it cannot be, I'm thankful for my parents, I'm thankful for my wife, I'm thankful for my kids, right? Because after a point, your brain says, yeah, so big deal, right?
Yeah.
What else? That everybody else has, that even Shah Rukh Khan has, or maybe Ranbir Kapoor has, or maybe Sachin Tendulkar has. So I need to be thankful for more. So I'm saying from my point, from where I started, I got few things which I got, and I'm thankful for them every day. But there are things that are taking place every day also, despite some things going wrong. So if I can start capturing good over the bad, I think somewhere brain will start looking at it. And it started just on a whim. And then I came to the team for 3 years at least. We've implemented here that every day if you're sending anything to Deep, at the end of the day, it has to have one good thing of it. It could be as silly as I got a seat in the metro. But you don't appreciate it, right? You don't appreciate it, right? And so that's about good thing of the day, that you must have had a long day, but when you are closing your day, close it on a positive note by saying, hey, thank God for this. And then you sleep, and then you go back and then you go to your family with a positive mind. That's how it started. And ever since it just continued. So no, I would say, I don't know what triggered it, but I'm sure must be one of these bad days only. But then since then it has become a part of me.
That's a really good magic trick.
Well, there's another one also which I can give you if
Go ahead.
If I'm allowed. So another thing that I really practice and I keep telling my team members is to have a list of these energy vampires. So this was told to me by a monk in New York, Dandapani, and his philosophy is, and I'm sure it's all in all the monasteries they must be teaching it, that it's all about energy, right? Positive energy, negative energy. You're feeling great, you're feeling bad. You meet some people, your day is lit up. You meet some people, they just, you're just like, not the right guy. I'm not getting the right vibes. So it's also very important as entrepreneurs or as regular, I would say that even if you're in a regular job, that you conserve your energy. It's a finite resource, according to Dandapani. He told me, I don't know where did he learn it. At his monastery, he learned it, but that's what he told me, that, energy is like money. You run out of it, you die. And you have to spend it judiciously. So when you meet people, you're exchanging energy, right? So it's important for you to know who are those guys who are sucking the energy without even you knowing it, because they're nibbling on a very finite resource. So in your life, you should actually have a list ready of people who you believe you speak to, and they suck the energy out. And there will be two kinds. One you can deal with and one you can't deal with. It could be a mother. Maybe your mother keeps comparing you to your brother or to your sister, which you don't like, but she doesn't necessarily mean you're bad. Could be your wife. Maybe doesn't necessarily mean you're bad when she says something bad to you. For all you know, it might be for your good only. But our energies are not aligning. What she's saying with a good intent is not aligning with how I'm processing it. So what I need to consciously start doing is the people that I can ignore, I should absolutely ignore them. We are not reacting, we are not responding. The people who we cannot ignore are important, but are energy vampires. In that case, we have to learn the art that after a minute, I'll switch off. And I will not react. I will respond whenever I'm ready, with this. So if you can have that list also ready, it also keeps you going, and it's a very powerful concept. If you can start identifying people, could be your investor who's just comparing and you don't like it. Maybe you're not the kinds who will feel motivated by comparison. Maybe you're the kinds who would feel motivated by validation. You don't know, right? We all have different ticking points. So yeah, that's the second one, which was very interesting.
If I may add a little bit on that.
Please do so.
मैं कुछ दिन पहले पढ़ रहा था, and it is from one of our scriptures, जहाँ ये बोलते हैं कि शरीर में 5 कोश होते हैं, अन्नमाया कोश और फिर प्राणमाया कोश, मनोमाया, विज्ञान माया और आनंद माया. तो जो आपने एनर्जी शीट बोली, this annamaya kosh, what is a gross body, and then there is a pranamaya kosh, which is the energy.
Beautiful.
So aligning all that energy, the vibes. Many times when we get into meeting, we say, I'm getting good vibes, or the vibes are good. I think it's coming from that energy or the pranamaya kosh. I don't know, Jeff.
So true. No, it's true. All of this is there. I think at the end of the day, it's just about your mental balance. It's very important for you to. Your remote should be in your hands, like they say.
Absolutely. And mostly we are in the hands of the remote.
Absolutely. Now, our remote is in so many people's hands. Yeah? There are times when it could be in your, I mean, if let's say you don't get along with your brother, just for discussion, or with your wife, they'll say something and you just switched off. And it cannot be like that, right? Our remote has to be in our hands.
Yeah.
So that's where maybe energy vampires say, oh, that's an energy vampire. Let me take the remote back. Whatever you're saying will not make any difference to me, at least not today.
Yeah. And how did this beautiful name come about, Sirona?
Like I said, I've been very lucky and blessed in life. So I also have a very tolerant wife who's been kind to tolerate me and my idiosyncrasies. And she suggested, in fact, all the names. So everything that I think, So she's the one who suggested Sirona as a name. It means Celtic goddess of hygiene. So she's a healing deity. So we're looking at a name because we said that, Peebuddy has become synonymous with peeing and with toilets.
Hmm.
What do we do with, because pain patch was the idea. So we said, what is pain patch doing? It's
Hmm.
healing you.
Hmm.
It's healing you in a very different way,
Hmm.
because your hot water bottles and painkillers are not working. You can't take hot water bottle to office. Painkillers tend to have side effects, or you have to wake up every few hours to have them. So can we heal it? So we came up with the patch, right? And then the disposal bags help you with another problem of throwing the chaffing cream, that gives you rashes in intimate area, get rashes. Became India's first herbal anti-chaffing cream. So all of these were more about healing and hygiene. So Sirona is what she suggested. And I stuck to it for the right reasons. So
What are some of Sirona's most distinguished moments? And I'm not talking moments of awards, because you have plenty of them. 80 under 80 awards, several of them, Fortune 40 under 40, National Entrepreneurship. You have many of them.
let's not talk about
but,
awards.
but most distinguished moments from the point of view of people, that if
So,
those people would not have been there, Sirona would
yeah.
not have been where it is.
Can't really pick one. I think everybody, even the office boy who is here today in office as I speak to you, everybody has played a part here. Everyone, anybody who's prayed for our success today is shares equal credit. It's not one. It is no one actually. It's the collective energy which has made this organization. And so many notable ones who continue with us for 4 years, 5 years. We are a garage startup, not even garage actually. I started from Rashi's store. Rashi's my wife, and she makes handmade carpets. So from her office desk is where the Peabuddy conceptualization and all that started, right? So I'm thankful to that office. I'm thankful to her. Then when we took our two-room, office, in which one was a warehouse, all the guys who agreed to work with an unknown entity, all the guys who agreed to come in, who were, so one is, okay, we can still say warehouse guys would have worked anywhere. But the guys who said that, fair enough, I'll make your online listing, or I'll go and sell this product offline. I'm thankful. The person might not still be in the system, but I'm thankful to him, because had he not sown those seeds, we would not be reaping the benefits that we're doing today. There are at least 5 people within the team who've completed 4 years with us. I'm eternally thankful to each and every one of them. And because they had the choice, right, at any point to go to and work for any other organization. I'm extremely thankful to my early believers, whether it was the family who said, fair enough, you can take this part. My wife, because we are married, we already had our first daughter, so it means that there'll be financial strain for longest period. And she didn't bat an eyelid. Thankful to my co-founder, who also happens to be my brother, to sail in the same boat. To early investors, who the first check we had written, but after that, these guys came in, and still company, there was no future, that was clear. So many of them. I'm thankful to every customer, who trusted us with it. And there are two, three of them that I remember, like, can't name, but there was this once we were being featured on NDTV. There was a show called Real Deal. They picked the 12 social entrepreneurs from the country, and they just randomly asked us that, can you make us speak to some of your customers? Before that, we'd never spoken to customers like that. Can you come and give us a testimony? Whatever they were doing it out of their good heart. But we sent a random email to all the customers. One of them came in, so if you know Delhi, a little up, the person stayed in Gurgaon, and the shoot was happening at Saket, and it was happening on a weekend, which means that it was a special trip. So this elderly couple shows up. The man was an army veteran, and his wife, and I remember till then we were saying that Peabuddy. I'm sorry for a little longish answer, but I'll just take one more minute. Before that, we thought that Peabuddy was only for like city travel and for pregnancy and arthritis.
Yeah.
When this lady came in, the gentleman said that my wife uses your product, and she doesn't have arthritis, and my daughter-in-law uses your product. The wife she's a cancer survivor, and she uses it because when we have to come to OPDs and we have to wait for 2, 3 hours, your immunity is at its all-time low, and she's able to lead a better travel life because of you. I think I had tears in my eyes that day, because now is the first time when this really hit hard, that it's no more about just city traveling. We are maybe making a substantial difference in people's lives, especially at that time with Peabody. So I remember that was I'm eternally thankful to those guys. and everybody else. I think there's so much to be thankful for. Yeah. There's so many. I mean, I can't tell you the list. This podcast will end maybe in 5 years if I just give you all the names. So
wonderful. That's overwhelming. Insurance, event management, carpets. How did all this experience come together?
I'd say I've said this earlier that I think it's how the great Steve Jobs says, right? It's only in hindsight that you can join the dots. I believe all these experiences even today play a very important role. Like in the days of events, we used to organize these concerts, right? And in concerts, there used to be portable toilets, those porta potties that you see, right? Individual toilets you can use that. And no matter how hard we tried, we could just not keep them clean. Then I moved into carpets. Around carpets, it was a struggle phase for the first few years. We had to travel. We'd already had a miscarriage. And second time around, when we were pregnant, when we were blessed with our first daughter, we had to travel again. And it was in the last trimester. And last trimester, Rashu was put on rest to say, no, you can't travel. We still had to go. And we said, fair enough. What we'll do is, it was a meeting in Dubai. Couldn't even afford, but I upgraded the flight and we took business class. But still, the toilet was bad because a common toilet. You're just one bad man away from a bad toilet experience. So that experience, like I remember that day that, we were shitting bricks. God, I mean, ye bhi saaf nahi, So, uska mujhe wo part yaad hai that, while we had a miscarriage and we were expecting, and how I wish yaar ki kyun ladkiyan, I mean, it was not ki ladkiyan khade hoke kyun nahi pee kar sakti back then. The question was more around here, why can't toilets be clean? I was just trying to say, why can they not be clean? It's basic thing. And then my mother had arthritis. So I had seen her also. She had become a social recluse. So events played a part in my professional life. My carpet business played a part because I traveled around a time that we shouldn't have traveled. And I saw this toilet experience. And I had a very personal, experience before this with our miscarriage. So I could see how pressing this is as a problem. And then, so when the idea was just proposed on our road trip, I was like, this needs to be done. This needs to be here. And yeah, so all these things, I'm saying when that idea was just popped as a joke in a conversation where I was saying, see, men are so blessed. We can stand in pure. God loves us more because he made us better. We are 4 couples traveling together, Delhi-Jaipur highway. When I said that, and this was, in fact, again, who am I again thankful for? This friend's wife, who said it that, well, it's only in India that this is like this. I had seen someone in Europe use a contraption to stand in pee. Had she not said that that day, maybe I would have just gone about saying, let's just find cleaner toilets. So I came back, did the research, realized I'm not the only Einstein to have ever thought about it. There are, the first patent, by the way, for female urination device goes back to 1919, around the time when we were getting shot in Jallianwala Bagh. But obviously there was nothing here. So I came up with my own shape. We got a design patent on it and rest is history. But I would say, everything that has happened has played a role in us being here today. The conviction of saying that, we will see it through comes from a fact that I've seen that I've done 3-4 businesses where our persistence was there. That business did well, irrespective of whether the idea was great or not. Wherever persistence wasn't there, that business failed. So everything has taught. Everything has taught something or the other.
And that is where it comes from. If you are at it, you will crack it.
That's my line, yes. Proprietary, that's coined by me. And I hope someday I'll get credit for it too.
Fantastic. Tell me a little about how does your team come together? How do you make sure there's a culture of engagement in the organization?
I think they're very passionate people. Again, been plain, simple, lucky. I've got some really rock star guys, and they are the ones who build the culture. I think we are a very live and let live kind of organization. Like I said, some of the things which I mentioned, whether it's about, capturing good thing of the day, it's also in a way telling them to stay positive and motivated. We have an open door monthly meeting where anybody can ask any question, and we openly share all our numbers to say, yeah, it can leak, we don't care. But what we earn is that the feeling of family, that family needs to know everything. If you have somebody who's leaking the information outside, big deal. For that one person, I will not lose the trust of 49 who show up every day here thinking, we are onto something big. So there are initiatives like that. But other than that, I think it's been just plain simple luck where we've attracted some really phenomenal people. Like foundation as an idea was one of the team members, Dr. Diksha suggested it. she came in one day just off a Facebook message, and I said, yeah, let's meet. We met, and she's a medical doctor. She's a gold medalist from Safdarjung Hospital. She's an MD, and she said, I feel very passionate about it. I said, well, I feel very passionate about cups. Can you start talking about it? Because I'm not a user, so no matter how hard I try, there'll be a gap between cup and the lid. So she came on board and she started working on it, and today, like, her foundation has 3 more people under her who are working. And for a company of our scale and stage, it is unheard of. And our foundation is now completing 3 years. And it's on a mission to say that we'll end gender inequality and period poverty. And we are on a mission to do it to 1 million women through our foundation as well. Just built like that. One customer reached out to me saying, on your cup, you're writing something which I find derogatory. I said, ma'am, why don't you come and meet me? She came to the office today. She writes the content. So it's luck and passion, I think, at so many levels, Jared, so many levels. So they make their own culture. I'm nobody, today. I'm just saying, do whatever, just stay happy. And you come to office, you should enjoy it. So we try not to, politics हो ही नहीं पाती, because I think जितने लोग हैं वो अपने आप में इतने empowered और खुश हैं कि nobody is insecure. That's why, touchwood, people don't leave us.
One famous professor once told me that CEO or CEOs actually stands for customer, employee, owner, and society. So yeah, it is indeed very, very admirable. I wanted to ask you this, which you have actually already answered, that there was no need at this stage for you from any legal or compliance point of view to have a foundation.
So yeah.
And I think that's such a, what kind of impact is the foundation making today?
Well, I'd say that every year, when it comes to teaching thousands of women on sustainable menstruation, I think last year we completed 10,000 new people, new women, and they're all from underprivileged background. We're working with sex workers, we're working with refugees, and again, remotest parts of the country. And also now internationally we are working. Our mission is to take our own numbers. I mean, 100,000 we want to do in phase 1, where we want to move them to cups at no cost to them. And so I hope this year we'll be able to complete at least half of them, and then go to 1 million, which is our eventual aspiration, that we want to move those women.
And Deep, your manufacturing, this is your own manufacturing, right?
No, sir. We don't manufacture as of today. It's contract manufactured. The shape is us. The concept is us. The formulations are us, but we don't manufacture. We are the product and formulation guys.
Fantastic. Good. Deep, I think I am covered of what I wanted to ask you. Is there something more which you want to share?
No. Thank you so much, like I said, for having me over. And I hope, if there are people who believe that they can help us, please do reach out. I'm Deep at
absolutely.
Sirona. Yeah.
I have spoken to you about this once, maybe fleetingly, but there are these industrial areas.
So
and where in the lighter jobs of quality and quality control, where mass production is there, a lot of women are working. And I think that is an area where we could address, where we could reach very effectively, have a lot of concentration in one locality.
Absolutely.
That is something which I would like to take forward.
I would take you up on that offer, sir. I will not let you go now. So you please do help us on that. And I hope
Thank you.